You are looking live at the new 2024 native version of the TFDi MD-11. How you doing, everybody? CJ here. I am your classic jet sim pilot, and man, am I excited. So, here's the story. Look at that Martinair livery. Love it. Love it. So, the TFDi MD-11, this new 2024 native and updated version has been made available to customers that are Captain's Edition owners. And you know what? TFDi was very kind and nice enough to allow me to have access to it, to preview it, and make a little bit of content for it. I am a TFDi customer. I unfortunately did not get in on the CE edition. I wish I had, but I didn't. But we're here taking a look at it with you. This version is, I think they were hoping to have it out by now, but they're doing some final tweaks to it. And as we look around, keep in mind, it is still basically a beta version. So there may be some things that aren't quite right, but this is not, it's not a release candidate, it's not a release version. So there could be new features added, there could be something taken away, who knows, right? But here we are, looking at this beautiful airplane. And, some recent good news. FedEx CEO announced, I think it was on a recent shareholder call, that they expect the MD-11s to be back in the air this spring. So apparently the emergency airworthiness directive and whatever's required to comply, apparently that process is going better than some thought. And we should see MD-11s, at least from FedEx, back in the sky here within a few months. Of course, it's following that awful, just absolutely horrible tragedy with the UPS MD-11, where the engine, the mounting system within the pylon failed, and just absolutely horrible. But here we are, walking around this new updated version of the MD-11. I think it looks pretty good from the outside. I've always been a fan of this airplane, MD-11 specifically, and also TFDi's version. And by the way, this also has the new Pratt & Whitneys, so these we can finally do Martinair flights with the versions that they had, which were the Pratt & Whitneys, as far as I know. I'm pretty sure all their airplanes were that way. We are at the London Stansted. First time using this scenery. Not sure why we have luggage out here, but okay. But just look at her. I love the look of the MD-11. To me, it's one of the sexier designs. It's sort of an aggressive looking airplane. Looking at from the nose on, it sort of looks like it's got a scowl. It's ready to do business. I have done one flight with this. I did one very short flight with it the other night when I got the build, just to make sure that the basic findings work. But we may still have a few surprises on this flight. But I wanted to get it out to you all just as quickly as we could, so you can see it. And hopefully we'll see this version hit. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but we're in the sort of the beginning of the holiday, well, not the beginning of the holiday season, but Christmas is about a week away. No,
it's less than a week away.
It's 4 days away. Good grief. I think TFDi is hoping to have this out within a couple of weeks, the final version. But in the meantime, let's enjoy this version. I have done nothing so far, so you're going to experience this right along with me as we get in the aircraft and get her going. Boy, it's been a minute since I've flown the MD-11, other than my quick shakedown flight last night, so this will not be a clinic by any means. Let's make sure we got the right thing near Stansted. We're headed over to Amsterdam, which was a real-world segment in this aircraft. I think at one time it was a continuation on a flight that came from Toronto, I believe. But anyway, we're happy to be back in it, and let's... Hopefully I don't forget too much. We'll do a little cockpit safety check first. The fuel controls... Yep, I hit them wrong on my controller. That's why we do these. Okay, they are off. Throttles are idle. Speed brakes are down. Flaps are up. Gear handle is down. Windshield wipers are off. We do have external power available.
Autopilot.
All right. Got good external power. We'll also bring up the IRSs. Let them start. That'll cue the cargo fire test. And we will also do the engine fire test.
Engine 1, fire. Engine 2, fire. Engine 3, fire.
I wish we could scroll when we're pressing so we could check the rest. I suppose what we could do is kinda... Let's see, how could we do this? Because you want to see the panel. Where's the button? Which is the button here? All right, it's that. So let's go like this. Maybe like this. Ah, it's up in the menu area. It's just out of reach. There we go. 4 lights up there, 2 lights on the glare. We've got the messages on the EADs, and then we've got the lights in the fuel control switches. There we go. Yeah, put that on my TFDi MD-11 wish list. The ability to scroll while you're pressing a button would be awesome. All right, fire test is complete. Let's go ahead. We'll leave the APU off for now. We'll double check and make sure the aircraft is ready to go. MD-11, we got the Pratt & Whitney. We've got current database. We are Mike Papa Hotel 5511. Yep. And let's align that IRS. We'll start that going, and then we'll move into the aircraft acceptance. We'll go ahead and set the payload and fuel for right now. Excellent. We'll do performance in a bit. We're going to do charts via the EFB, the Microsoft EFB for right now. And let's double check the options, make sure it's set up. Let's do metric weight. Pause, no. Normal, enabled, enabled. We'll also, I'll tell you what, let's step through it to see what, so you can see if there have been any changes. We do, look, we do have failures now. This comes with the extended SIM version. I have not experimented with it yet. Like I said, this is just the, I've just done the one flight, but we have the extended SIM, which was something that they've been working on too, which gives us new depth into the systems, right? Circuit breakers. Look, we got circuit breakers that are clickable now. Probably not all of them. Probably just ones that have to do with whatever systems are modeled. Yeah, there's some. So anyway, yeah, some new stuff going on. So that's exciting. Can't wait to get into that. Give that a try. Automatic anti-ice. I like to have that enabled just because the flight sims modeling of ice is not very realistic. Sometimes we get ice detected in conditions where you really wouldn't, so I just leave that enabled just to make it simple. I like the analog. Do not like the tape displays, not my preference. Single queue is enabled or disabled. We can fail the tires. Rising runway is fine. I like all the callouts except the 200-foot callout because that can interfere with minimums. Performance. I assume those are pretty representative in what, being that they're the standard configuration. Yes. Realistic. Cap and FO sync. I like that. Real parking brakes. We can sync the minimums. I like to see where the throttles are in their position. That's useful in the flight sim. Since our throttles don't move position, right? That way, if you want to disengage auto thrust or auto throttle, you can, and the throttles will be in the right position. So that's a good idea to have that on. All right, I think we're good to go. Let's go back to dispatch. We already loaded, so I think we are ready. So we will do the overhead. Test the CVR, that's good. Those are all deactivated since it's the freight version. 1 o'clock and 12 o'clock on those. Ignition's off, wipers off. We can run the hydraulic system test. And when you're running that test, what you can do also is you can come down here and open up the hydraulic page on the systems display. And notice it's in the hydraulic pressure test, and you'll see the pumps come on and the pressure rise and fall. It's interesting how that's all modeled. We'll arm the emergency power. No lights here, which is normal. Quantity test is good. We've got a fairly light load of fuel today for our flight over. I like to turn up. Well, that's the flood lighting. It's kind of a gloomy day, so we'll turn up the integral lighting. Arm the emergency lights. We'll do the emergency light test. Look for it here. There it is. Excellent. No smoking sign can come on. Nav lights are already on. Everything else should be off. We don't need a logo light. Do a quick JipWiz test.
Glide slope. Pull up.
There it is.
Pull up.
Excellent. Everything else, lights are off. It's all in auto. Same thing in pressurization. It should not be in manual. We can turn on the windshield anti-ice, windshield heat, get that warming up. Annunciator light test. Here's another one where you want to press it and hold it and look at the screen. So, how can we do that? About like that. Ooh, jeez. Sorry, that is me. That is not a stutter or anything weird. Okay.
Overspeed.
You also want to be able to look at all the annunciator lights when you press it.
Overspeed.
We're looking in the center of the EAD down there for the
Overspeed.
air test. There it goes. There's
Overspeed.
system test. So now it's testing the pneumatic system. We can reset the fuel used, reset the engine max pointers. Coming across the top, I like to, we are in, we'll move over to hectopascals, traffic on, data on, airport on, we're in map mode, we are in IAS, we are in heading, we are in feet, we are in vertical speed. Excellent. All the displays are up and showing what they should be showing. We'll get the weather here in on the north side of London. In fact, let's bring up our EFB. Look at our dispatch. Our weather today. Here we are, departing. Winds out of the east, so runway 4 will be appropriate. 8 kilometers visibility, broken at 500, now overcast at 900, temperature 10, dew point 9, 1009. 1009 on the standby. 1009 on the primary, set left hand. Right. Excellent. At our destination, the weather. Good visibility, few at 1800, 2000 broken, temperature 10, dew point 8, 1012. And looks like it's trending towards better. So we are good to go. No considerations there. We're not going to be flying with ATC today because we want to focus on the new airplane. So I don't think any extra fuel should be necessary. Coming down here, let's go ahead and set the parking brakes so we are ready to go. Speed brakes are down.
Stabilizer.
Test the config warning.
Lap. Left. Brakes. Stabilizer.
Excellent. On 2.
Stabilizer.
And then range of motion check on thrust lever 3. We're good. Flaps are up. Start buttons are all in. Dial flap is at 15, which is where it should normally sit. No ATC today, so we won't worry about that. We'll go back to the engine display here. Actually, we could pull up the miscellaneous display just to see what we got going. Doors open, DFDR off, so that's normal. Radio panel is fine. We can test the radar. There we go. Good pattern. Squawk code we won't worry about. We'll leave it on. Go to our TCAS display. And now we'll do a test of the TCAS system.
TCAS test.
Get the symbology correct.
TCAS test. Pass.
Excellent. Trims are at 0 and 0. Door locks in auto for now. Alright. I think our initial cockpit setup, we didn't, well, we'll do the flight plan and then we'll finish up in the cockpit. Alright. Let's load up the flight plan. We'll send it to the FMC. And there it is. Just realized I didn't start my Mobi flight. So I use the PAP and the PFP3 from WinWing. There are profiles on MobiFlight that allow me to do that, so that way I can control the autopilot with the PAP3 and I can see the CDU information, the McDo information on my PFP7 actually, sorry. The buttons aren't working, which I'm not sure why. I gotta check that. But anyway, Stansted to Amsterdam. And we are Mike Papa Hotel. I already put this in once. It must clear it out when I send it to flight plan 5511. Excellent. We are going to be cruising today at for the short flight, flight level 210. Temperature is ISA -2. At flight level 210, the standard temperature is 2121. It's 42 minus 15. 42 minus 10 is 32 27. So we go 27, and it's going to be 2 degrees cooler, so minus 29. And our headwind today is a tailwind, plus 8. Average wind component. Cost index of 110. Excellent. Departing Stansted. Runway 4 via Clacton. 5 Sierra. Take a look at it real quick, make sure it makes sense. Runway 4. It's the right turn out to Clacton. Looks good to me. Clacton 5 Sierra. It's in. Same shape. We'll check the whole route here in a second, though. Let's put in our arrival. 18 right. ILS 18 right. Into Amsterdam. And from Schiphol. There it is. ILS 18 right. From Schiphol. And the Red 1 Alpha. ILS 18 right. Schiphol. And the Red 1 Alpha. Insert. Okay, so let us check the actual routing. Our original flight plan predicted runway 6, but we know that not to be true. So we'll decrease our range a little bit and step through the flight plan. We take off. Gotta check the chart for this part. Alright. Right turn to that first waypoint. Clacton 5. Oh, above 3,000. And then 4,000. And then out to that 26.5 mark. Above 3, 4, 4, 5. There it is, 16. And then 6,000. Looks good. And then 6,000, or flight level 60 at Clacton. So we're looking good there. Over to Ratlow, then Redfa. And here's Redfa. And that's below 230. Salute to Schiphol. At Schiphol, we're at 250 knots. We're below 10, above 7. Looks good. And then the ILS 18 right off of Schiphol, right here, takes us right to the airport's VOR. There is a course reversal. And then back out to AM 240, Alpha Mike 241, 242, Pevos. Yep, AM 621. Pevos at 2. Yep. Excellent. Now, what typically happens, at least when I've flown into Amsterdam, is we'll be sent up to Alpha Mike 241 or something like that. Maybe even from Schiphol. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. All right. So our flight plan looks good. We'll copy that into our second. We'll go to our second init page, where we can put in our zero fuel weight is 116.6, 116.6 tons. Goes there. Our black fuel, I shouldn't have put that away. I need it. .8. Oh, it removed my zero fuel weight. 116.6. Oh, I guess I put some in wrong. $116.6. What am I doing wrong? That is our zero fuel weight. Right? 116.6. 116.6. Our flight plan is in kilograms. Hmm. $248.6. Where's it getting that number from? There is no 248.6 anywhere. There's no... In fact, that is... I wonder if it's... I wonder if it got confused because when we loaded up... Oh, that's what it is. Okay, so I must not have hit save when I changed the units over. Okay, 116.6 is our zero fuel weight. 12.8 is our fuel. There we go. Okay, my fault. Totally my fault. Now that should match up with everything I got. 16.6. I got the fuel 12.7. About 128 tons. Right, 116.6. With 12.8. Okay. So now our taxi fuel done. Our alternate fuel, 2.4. Our final time, 4.3. We'll put our CG info. It's greatly overestimating our trip time, that's the problem. So that should correct itself once it is set. So, oh, I see also part of the problem here is I need to reset the payload and the fuel load. There we go. Okay. There, that's much better. 28.9. Okay. Yep, had to reload the airplane, had to make sure the EFB was set to the proper units, and now the airplane, because the airplane does have a weight and balance system within the airplane itself, so it actually measures the how the weight is distributed on the through the landing gear computer. So there we go. But it is still overestimating the time here on the ground. But let's go through our performance. We're going to climb out. Looks reasonable. We're going to have a relatively slow cruise. And looks good. Let's put in our climb forecast. We do need to pay attention to the winds, although it's a fairly short segment, so winds won't have too much of an effect. But we'll call 10,000 feet. Will be 156 at 23. Flight level 150, 163 at 27. And flight level 200, 179 and 36. Put that in there. We're going to be doing our performance next, so we'll go ahead and save a step, get the weather here. 110 at 10, and it's 10 degrees. Insert those, back to perf. Put in the descent forecast, 200, 186 at 29. 150, 179 at 27. And flight level 100, 160 at 19. And our winds at Schiphol are 100 at 6 with a temperature of 10 degrees. Okay. Insert those. And now we can compute our takeoff performance. Departing off of runway 4, 2009, we'll get our takeoff weight, optimum. Packs automatically turn off in this airplane. So we'll leave that there and we'll calculate it out. So, let's see. Flex of 59.2 and 4 knots. Flex of 59.2 /4 knot .2 or .02? Oh, .2. Headwind of 4 knots, we're good. Flap setting will be flaps 10. And temperature is 10. 10 and 10. 10 on the flap. 10C on the OAT. And EFB says 36, 36, 41. 36, 36, 41. Nice. Everybody agrees. And if there's a disagreement, typically the EFB wins that tie, because within the flight management system, it's just a very standard table. And typically, the EFB has more variables and so forth, especially when it comes to MELs and things like that. Okay. Our engine acceleration is 1,100 feet. Climb thrust 1848. So we're 1,500 feet above with an XL 3348. That is typical in NADP2. Makes sense. And no problems there. All right. I think we're just about ready. I would want the first officer to go through and check my stuff. And then we'll come across here and make sure we are configured. 250 knots is good because our clean speed is 205. You do the higher of the clean speed or that. Runway 4 is actually magnetic heading of like 45, if I remember right. Nope, I remembered wrong. 42. We'll just go ahead and bug 21 for our way out. That should work. Let me turn up the brightness on these screens a little bit. By the way, be very careful when adjusting these in flight. Quick spots are close to the fuel valve. Fuel control quick spot. It wasn't this airplane, but it's one other airplane I have in the sim. It's a similar situation, and I shut down the engine. The any A310. Okay. I believe we are ready for the cockpit prep before start checklist. Using real world checklist today off of a modern day freight operator of this aircraft. Aircraft log's been revealed. Fuel quantity 12.8 tons, and we are at 12,750. Oxygen has been checked. IRSs are aligned and in nav. Altimeter is 1009. Set left and center. And set right. Status page has been checked. Auto brake is off. Yeah, we probably should do that. Takeoff warning's been checked. Radar has been checked. We are to the line. Let's get the APU started. And we'll get ready for pushback. It is a good looking livery, isn't it? Martinair Rose livery. Ooh, I like that little second stage sound to the APU. You notice how it kind of had a plateau and then went up a little more? That was interesting. I don't remember that in the previous version. I know they've done work on the sounds. Nice. Okay. APU on. We can get rid of the ground power unit now. I'm sure the ground crew will be happy about that. Let's close that door. Let's disconnect. We've set the brakes. The brake pressure could come up a little bit, but we're set and we're good for the time being. I think, as far as I'm concerned, we are ready for push. Turn the beacon on. Doors and windows are closed. Radio is set. Throttles are at idle. And let's see if GSX will push us back. Where are we pushing back? What side are we on? It'll be nose left. Awesome.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Alright, below the line, please. Custom forms are done. Aux pump. Ooh, I need to do that. And that'll help bring up that pressure a little bit. There we go. Aux pump is on. Takeoff data has been briefed. Parking brake is set. Windows are closed and locked. Doors are closed. Beacons on. Ignition.
Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Major update pushed maybe yesterday, GSX. A lot of changes. There's some sort of taxi, progressive taxi update. So, excited to learn more about that. We'll go to ignition A. We should hear the bleeds cut out.
Locking gear.
Or see the bleeds cut out. And we did. Packs are off. Facing north onto Zulu East. We want to face north. Oh, east, west, or center. Okay, nice.
Release parking brakes, please.
Okay. Brakes are released. You're cleared to push.
Push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Do we have a line here at Stansted? We do. Once we're past this, the engines are past this line, we'll go ahead and fire it up. Oh, I see. Zulu, center, east, and west. Cool. Alright, starting 3. Here we go. TFDi, updated MD-11. I'm excited. Boy, it flew nice on my first flight. Oh, you know what I did? I'm a dummy. That's why that. Okay. Jeez. Like I said, it's been a while. Ignition is still on, correct? Yep. Okay, here we go. Turning 3. Off come the packs. You can stop the push anytime. Anytime. Okay. Shoo!
Please set parking brakes.
Nice little light off sound.
Unlocking gear.
Not bad. All right. Cool. Turning one.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
Watching N2. There's N2.
Left is clear. Right is
We got oil
clear.
pressure. You are cleared to disconnect. We'll take the signal off the right side. Have a good day. We'll get up near max motoring here. And we'll introduce the fuel. I've got my Bravo switches set, so I have the 3 fuel switches. Here's max motoring. Close enough. Fuel. Light off. So now we're watching the EGT for the hot start. And watching N2 for the hung start. Get the signal. Yep, that must have been him walking away. I saw the pins in his hand. Alright. We're good to go. It's turn 2. And 2. Oil pressure. Waiting for max motoring. That seems like a very strong APU. Not a bad thing. Alright. Fuel. Light off. Did it do? We do have failures realistically set. There we go. There's the switch over. Looks like to me like we've got 3 good starts. We hit the first peak, a little bit of rollback, and now it'll come up to temp. Alright. Turning off the APU bleed, we'll start the shutdown sequence. I never turned on my seatbelt signs. I also never checked the separate dial flap. Oh, we got a new way to adjust these. Yes. Cool. Slats are out. Nice. Flaps are at 10. Slats and flaps. Transponder. Do the config. Do the control check. Whoop. I meant to go to this view. Here we go. Love those big inboard ailerons. Anyway, 3 green. You have 3 there. 2. 2 green. And then 1 green. 1 green. Excellent. 5.6 on the trim. Alright, 5.6. After start checklist. Anti-ice is off. APU is off. Electrical panel is checked. And we've got I think we have a fairly short taxi, right? Oh, got a little bit of a taxi. We've got to go out in November. So Zulu left on Juliet. We can take it all the way down to Lima and then come over to November. Or hotel, I mean. We have one hot spot to think about. Other than that, we should be good. We'll go ahead and do the before takeoff. Flaps are at 10, indicating 10. Spoilers are armed. Flight controls are checked. Trim 00, 5.6. Briefing's completed. Seatbelt sign. Seatbelts are all fastened. Three speeds are checked. EAD. As soon as we release the brakes, should go green. Clear left, clear right, taxi lights on. EAD is green. Radar's off. FCP is set. We'll go ahead and arm nav and prof. And lights to go. Alright, left turn on Juliet. I always get excited flying this airplane. Always have. It really is one of my favorite airplanes to fly in 2020. And as good as it flew in 2020, I thought it flew even better. And it's flying even better in 24. I'm really excited for this to really come into maturity in 24. Definitely want to slow down for turns in the MD-11. It's really easy to scrub that nose wheel tire. If you do a Google search, you'll find plenty of examples of that. In fact, I highly recommend, I discovered in the 2020 version, I assume with ground handling even more realistic in 24, I highly recommend the use of either a tiller, because you need more range of motion than just with the Z-axis, like on most joysticks, which there isn't much Z-axis, right? There's not a lot of travel because it's designed for your wrist, and your wrist, doesn't turn a whole lot. So the problem with that is it can cause oversteering very easily. And the real-world technique on this airplane, it's outlined in a couple of the FCTMs that I have on the MD-11, is that you lead with rudder and then you come in with the tiller, because the rudder in the real airplane has limited travel, so that sort of eases you into the turn, and then you come in with the tiller. And that actually works well on the computer version as well, because your rudders have a lot more range of travel than the typical joystick twist action, right? So if you sort of lead with the rudder, it's easier to lead into the turn and you don't end up skidding. Because this airplane did skid very easily in 2020, which is fairly prototypical. It's a good looking scenery. It's not a 2024 native scenery. It's any builds made sure it works fine in 24. Huh, Ryanair, what are you doing there? That's kind of funny. This is supposed to be a compass rose. I hope I'm allowed down here. We'll make the right turn, then the left. But I did want to take a look at that to see if they actually had a compass rose built in. Let's see. Yeah, see, we got to slow way down for the turn. In real life, I probably wouldn't have started the center engine. I don't see a compass rose painted in there. That's how it's labeled on the chart. Oh, it says compass base. Well, I don't know, maybe that's the same thing. Maybe it's what we call here in the States a compass rose. For swinging magnetic compasses, so you can, that's how. There's a little deviation card that is on, that has to be included with the magnetic compass. And that's how they determine what the deviation is. Take the plane to a compass rose and then just set it up on the different directions. I mean, that's the pilot's version of it. I'm sure a aircraft maintainer can will tell me there's a lot more to it. But I'm a pilot. I break airplanes and fly them. I don't fix them. Okay, we are in the home stretch as far as our taxi goes, so let's make sure we have the departure clear. Yeah, stepped climb, very important. I want to ensure we don't bust anything. 250 knots below 10,000 feet unless otherwise authorized, so that's fine. The takeoff procedure, climb straight ahead. Until a mile. Then make the right turn. Excellent. And then our initial top of altitude is 4,000 feet. Which we will keep in mind. Make sure we adhere to. I'll probably get busy and forget about it. But so remind me, would you? Other than that, we just had lights to go and our before tech list is complete. Go ahead and get the lights, camera, and action. In this airplane, the clock starts on its own. Not in an ATC environment, so we'll just pull right out and get out of here. Before takeoff checklist is complete. We are so light today, it just wants to jump. It's not going to be a very long takeoff roll, I'll tell you that. These giant windows. I wish I'd never got an opportunity to jump seat in an MD-11. I wish I had done that when I was able to jump seat. Flown on one of the cargo carriers and alrighty, are you ready? I'm ready. I see runway 4. Wind is off to the right side. Here we go. Takeoff. Power set. I was afraid. She was ready to fly. I botched that takeoff. My bad.
Autopilot. 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 Autopilot.
Whoa, we're gonna bust right through our 4,000 feet. I knew that was gonna happen. It's a rocket ship. It does hand fly well, though. Alright, slats retracting. I don't know what our initial rate of climb was, but it was a lot. Alright, flaps are up. Here's a after takeoff checklist. Landing gears up, flaps up, spoilers are disarmed, auto brake. Is off. Flap.
Stabilizer motion.
Takeoff selector. It's back to 15.
Stabilizer motion.
E80 is checked. Okay. Yeah, we're stuck here at 4 for a little bit. All right, let's talk about that. So, I got distracted during the takeoff roll because I got a spoiler message here, and I was looking at that, and I was about to change view real quick to make sure the spoiler was armed, but I wasn't getting a config warning. So I'm not sure why I was getting the spoiler light here without getting a master warning. So I'm not sure what was going on there. Anyway, so I looked down for a second at that. I looked here, and I turned my head just a little bit because I was going to change my view real quick, or just do one of these to make sure nothing weird was happening. And we were at 160 knots, so my bad. And then because the plane was trying to pitch up so severely to come back to its climb speed, which I assume is trying to come back to V2 plus 10 in that neighborhood, and I had let it accelerate so much that when I engaged the autopilot, the airplane was not trimmed properly for that, and the control forces were causing the autopilot to disconnect. So that's what happened. So then I had to hit the autopilot, the instinctive autopilot disconnect button on the yoke to cancel the warning, and then I had to hand fly. So that was that botched departure, but we're all good now. All right, up to 5,000. So make the right turn. Let's bring up the SID chart. Heading toward Clacton. Yeah, when you are light in this airplane, holy cow, things happen fast. I mean, it is a beast. I can't wait to watch that back. I don't know what our initial rate of climb. I feel like we got to 4,000 feet in about 30 seconds. All right, 5,000 is our max, and then we can step to 6, and we're stuck at 6 until we get to Clacton. Yeehaw! Here we go to 6. Gosh, it's a good looking airplane. Excuse me while I snap a quick screenshot. Okay. I know, I still use the Windows screenshot tool. Should probably get a better one. Okay, 6,000 feet, Clacton, right up ahead. And then we can resume our climb right up to 210 and head out across the channel. Is it still technically the channel on this side, or is it or is it still considered the English Channel? Or is it the North Sea? At what point does it officially become the North Sea? I never knew if the channel was kind of like just north of Dover and then down through, that sort of the closest approach between the UK and France off of Calais. Or if it started, or if it extends further. Anyway. Here we go. Amsterdam, here we come. Ready or not. On our very first stream with the new and improved. Coming soon. Coming soon. I can't wait. I can't wait to see how the extended sim works with the failures and everything. It's behind my flight sim on this monitor, so I can't. I was gonna bring it up just to show you what it looked like. We'll cover that in a different. This is more just let's reacquaint ourselves. All right, there's our turn over Clacton. Sorry. And we are off the star. So, a couple of short segments, Papa 44 and Mike 197. And now we begin our climb up to 210. Goes right to our climb power. Oh, by the way, folks. Ta-da! We can remove the yoke now. Hooray! It does tend to get in the way during turns, especially. Alright, there's 10,000 feet. And we could... Well, it's a freighter. We don't need to ding the cabin.
Autopilot.
Oh! What happened here? Let's get the airplane back in trim. Yeah, the airplane was way out of trim for some reason. Let's try to re-engage. Okay. So I am using a Moza force feedback, the AY210, on this airplane. It is not receiving information back from the airplane. I'm not getting a trim following or autopilot following. So let's see. I just changed the mode to this integrated force feedback. Let's see if that's any better. Because sometimes that will... Oh, there's... let's go to standard. Through 180. For 210. Watching it level off here. It's already going into hold mode. I'm watching it creep up on the speed here. There's 1,000 to go. Anyway, and sometimes when games, when planes, there's Ratlow, are not configured to put out the telemetry data that Moza is used to seeing, you can have situations where the yoke is out of place and sort of fights the sim, and therefore you get those autopilot disconnects. So it's as if I'm holding the yoke in place, right? Because in the real airplane you can push, pull, and if you exceed a certain amount of resistance and the servos pick that up, it'll disconnect the autopilot because it assumes you're trying to take control. -9. I did put it in manual. It says no ice detected. I guess I had it in auto, didn't I? We'll leave it in auto. We'll trust it. Although I would definitely turn it on in this mode. Turn the radar on. Oh, there was no significant precipitation forecast anywhere, just the clouds. So anyway, so this model, the MD-11, does not appear to put out the telemetry that other airplanes do, because like I said, I don't get the yoke following. So, I don't know if that's something on the settings on my end for the force feedback or something that TFDi needs to do a little differently. So, very well could be user error. Okay, we're already approaching our top of descent, so let's look at our arrival. It's a quick flight. Redfa. And at Sugol, we could go direct Alpha Mike 241, which I swear I've had before when flying into Amsterdam. Redfa below 230, and we want to be at a minimum of 7,000 feet when we cross Sugol. The altimeter at Amsterdam was 1010, I believe. Put that in the standby as a reminder. (1010). Iveo is using 18 right. We'll assume that's what they're doing in real life for now. Okay, all is good. We're cooking along nicely. Right at the top of this first cloud layer. That looks cool. A little cloud surfing. Still a little something going on with the textures here. Again, it's not a release version. It's all part of what they're perfecting before they do the general release. That was me, sorry. I am still not used to. I'm still not used to the mouse speed. Love the sun coming off that leading edge. It's a good looking wing. It's a very, very beefy, very strong wing, it looks like to me. I think that's our turnover, Redfa. Get back in the cockpit. 7,000 is the bottom of the arrival. We'll dial that in. Should start its descent here in a few minutes, about 10 miles. Yep. We are on the red for 1 Alpha, sit to salute. Right turn to Sugol. And we'll slow to 250 knots at Sugol. It'll be the ILS 18 right. From Sugol, we'll plan on Alpha Mike 241. In fact, let's go ahead and do that. Flight plan. Sugol. Alpha Mike 241 after Sugol. So we can clear this, clear check it on the plan. Yep, there it is. And then our missed approach takes us back out. Puts us on a heading, that's why it goes forever. Which to me is always interesting, because if you're lost comm, you don't have a fix. Okay. So, right to AM 241, we'll continue our descent to 2,000 feet. Once we get a little closer, turn inbound. 110.1 will be the frequency. It'll auto-tune when we get to within about 20 miles or so. AM 621 is our final approach fix. It's glide slope intercept. We'll take it down to 187 feet. Minimums, Barrow. 187. That's pretty unusual. We've begun our descent. Down to 187. Runway 18 right. It's way over here, so we have a long taxi because our cargo facility is over here. But we'll worry about that when we get there. If we do need to go miss, it's a right turn. We will not exceed 220 knots. As soon as we can and below 500 feet to AM 624, and we want to stay north of that radial off of the VOR, and it's a climb to 3,000 feet. Any questions? No? Good. Oh yeah, see at night they have you go to this Nedham intersection and then up. So whereas we're cutting the corner here after Sugo, sort of the same thing, because the procedure, the normal procedure has you come into the VOR and then do a course reversal and then back out. They keep you out over the water at night. That makes sense. All right, let's do our in-range checklist. Altimeters will be 1011. Windshield anti-ice is on. Seatbelt sign is on. Lights, we'll go back down through. We'll get the runway turn-off lights on. Check the status page. It's clean. So windshield's 1011, windshield anti-ice is on, seatbelt sign is on, lights are set, status page is checked, seatbelts and harnesses fastened, in-range checklist complete. Coming up on salute. Bottom altitude is what, 6,000? Not a fan of that. What's going on? Okay. Nothing. Auto brake min, reverse cruise off, flaps 35. I guess we could have gotten it here too. Plenty of runway. Put them in on the auto brakes. And we're coming through 10,000 feet. Lights on. Approach checklist briefing is complete. Altimeter. We're still set to go to 1011. Yeah, it's real low, 3,000 feet. So 1011 is prepped. Minimum is 187. Barrel. Radio's tuned and identified. Approach check complete. I wish I knew what was causing that audio stutter. I have not had one of those before. I didn't have one in my flight last night. Makes me nervous. Usually when you hear the audio stutter, a sim crash is not far behind. Well, let's see what happens. Is there a turn to 624? Oh, we want 241. I must have put that in wrong. Oh no, it's going. Sorry, 624. That's the missed approach. Okay. Shoot, I had a little panic there. Oh no. We continue our descent down to 2,000 feet. Go ahead and vertical speed it down. We're slow to 250 knots. We need to be at 220 knots by the time we get to Pevos. Have a gray, yucky day here in Amsterdam. Not getting stuttering in the on the displays or the actual sim, just in that audio. Again, not a release candidate. I'm sure it's one of the things they're working on. We are picking up the DME off of the ILS. It's Victor Papa Bravo. We're picking up the localizer and the glide slope. We're a little bit below our computed vertical path. Vertical deviation indicator. Here's the coast.
There we go.
Okay, not so bad. I thought it was going to be thicker. Turn up the brightness a little bit. Alright, so the airport's over there somewhere. Start slowing us down a little bit, I think. Get us down to that 220. Throttles are low and back. We're in thrust mode now. 220 is armed. $1,500 to go. Some red slats.
Altitude.
1,000 to go. Looks nice, huh?
2,500.
Check. Let's go flash 15. Over 10 knots. Debrief. Alright. Time to go back to work. Time to do some pilot stuff. Picking this localizer. Flat 35, we got a ref approach speed of 136, ref 131. It's almost like normal approach speeds. It's pretty slow for the MD-11. Alright, gear down. Gears down, 4 green. Flaps 28. Speed checks. Flaps 28. Flaps 35. Speed checks. Flaps 35.
Stabilizer motion.
Good approach for it.
Disconnect the autopilot. I was too busy admiring the views.
Stabilizer motion.
Let's get back caught up with the localizer here. So we'll hand fly the approach.
Stabilizer motion.
Before landing checklist. Lights
Stabilizer motion.
are on. Spoilers are armed. Auto brakes, min. Landing gear down, 4 green.
1000.
Flaps 35, checked. Alright, we are back on glide path. And flying the approach. Leaving the auto throttles in. That constant stabilizer motion, I assume, is the LSAS doing its thing. The lateral stability augmentation system. Getting a little low, correcting. It hand flies so nicely, it really does. I feel like there's some
400.
momentum behind it. Gotta resist the temptation to dive for the runway. I got slightly high, but it's fine. We're a high cockpit airplane.
100.
Plenty of runway. We want to take it to the end anyway.
40. 30.
Back to idle. Start the
20.
flare. Hold it.
10.
Hold it. Pressure down. Come up on the reversers. $70 knots. Manual braking. Welcome to Amsterdam. Lights are coming off. We'll start the APU. And as soon as I get in the straightaway, we'll I need to bind this to something. Oh. Turn off the runway. There we go. Okay. Thought I turned off the radar here. Oh yeah, turn it off here too. Duh. Okay, after landing checklist. APU is on, lights are set. Oh, stabilizer trim. Go back to 3. Lights and slabs up and retracted. Auto brakes are off. Spoilers retracted. Radar is off. And we did it. Now, let's see if we can find our gate. I'm going to use the Navigraph map. Because we need to end up... I want to say down here. So, yeah, we want to come down this Victor, probably all the way to maybe Zulu. Well, I guess we can cut across. Now there's no line, so I guess we got to do Zulu all the way around. All right, Victor to Zulu, right on Zulu. Now it sort of turns into Zulu. All right, good. This is a really nice scenery. I'm trying to remember whose it is. I've used it a few times. I haven't been to Amsterdam in a while though. Yeah, I got a config something or other going on. What is it? Oh yeah, I know the auto brake is off. It's interesting that it's giving me that warning. I'm assuming that's correct. There we go. My reversers got stuck. Okay, cross this bridge. Boy, 1-8 right is really out in the middle of nowhere, isn't it? Well, about 170 miles, nautical miles, 38 minutes. We can debrief a little bit. Yeah, the takeoff was pretty sloppy. Again, my attention got drawn to the spoiler warning I was getting down here without there being a master caution. So I didn't know what was happening, and by the time I looked back, we were already blasting through 165 knots or whatever. And then that caused a really steep takeoff because the flight director wanted to bring us back to its V2 plus 10. So it was my inattention that screwed that up. And then I didn't make sure the plane was in trim before engaging the autopilot. So that caused the autopilot to disconnect fairly quickly after engagement, in which case I just started hand flying the departure, which went fine. Not much to talk about on the arrival. It's pretty uneventful. I did not engage the glide slope intercept, the approach mode, quite at the right time. We ended up a little high, but nothing that wasn't solvable hand flying. I wanted to hand fly most of the approach anyway, just being first time, basically my first time back in the airplane in a long time. So hand flew the ILS. That went fine. Got caught back up, flew it all the way down, got a little bit high towards the end, which really is fine in a plane as big as the MD-11. You can fly that one white pappy. You still touch down in the appropriate place, because that's really what it's not a bad gauge for higher cockpit airplanes like the MD-11, 747. Touchdown rate was a typical MD-11 touchdown rate, I suspect, around 300 feet a minute. Alright, let's shut down number 2. we going? We are going to... Actually, let me look it up on the Navigraph map first. Sierra 62? They say we call it Sierra 62. Do I not have it? Let's select from the map. Oh, it's not showing up. Here we go. Just took a second. Oh, those aren't in there. All right. We'll go to 66. Nope. Sierra 66. Okay. I've forgotten which. I'm pretty sure Martinair was out of that south cargo facility. That's what I recall from investigating it in the past. In fact, there might be a Martinair logo over there. Am I remembering that right? Oh, I wonder if they have... Yeah, progressive taxi. Should we try it?
Roger. Taxi via Zulu. Bravo. Quebec. Sierra 2. Sierra
this is
9. Sierra. Continue on taxiway Zulu.
interesting. So this is... was part of this recent update. I expected it to stay lit, no?
Progressive taxi completed.
Oh, no. Oh, I wonder if it will come back when I have to make a turn.
Roger. Taxi via Zulu.
Zulu, Bravo, Quebec.
Quebec. Sierra 2. Sierra 9. Sierra. Continue on taxiway Zulu.
Zulu, Bravo, Quebec. This is going to be longer than our flight. So Zulu, Bravo, Quebec. Yeah, so Bravo will be the first right. Let's see if it comes back up and gives me the progressive.
Continue on taxiway Zulu.
Ah, that's cool. Oh, interesting. Now, there's no guarantee. It's got, like, I know Amsterdam.
300 meters, turn left on taxiway Bravo.
That would be a right turn, I believe. But thanks for playing.
Turn left on taxiway Bravo.
Oh, I guess this little section is Bravo. And then it's a right turn.
Turn right.
I'm turning.
Turn right.
What I was saying was, I know Amsterdam has a lot of, like,
Turn right.
specific directional taxi ways and directional taxi routes. So I'm not sure I'd want to use this if I'm on.
Taxiway Bravo.
I'm not sure I would want to use this if I'm on VATSIM. Oh, got a little hill here.
Stabilizer.
There we go. That's kind of neat. It's like true progressive taxi, right? It's not just one line the whole time that guides you around. It comes on and gives you instructions when you get close. Interesting. Interesting. I like that better than the old way, right? Oh yeah, see, there is a Martinair Cargo sign. Right there. Cool. You know, the way GSX has always done it, where it shows you where you're going, and then it disappears after a little bit. I know you can configure how long GSX stays with you, but when it shows you where your parking spot is, but that's kind of cool.
Continue about taxiway Quebec.
GSX is both one of the best and one of the most frustrating add-ons for the sim. When it works,
300 meters, turn right about taxiway Sierra 2.
When it works, it's really immersive and really, I think, adds a lot to the airline sim part of the game. But when it screws up, or when it does goofy things, it's really frustrating. But I love these last two updates. This progressive taxi is pretty slick. And I also love the fact that now you can edit pushbacks
right
on the map.
Sierra 2.
Because that was one of the worst parts of the game, especially if you're in an ATC environment where they give you specific pushback instructions that don't match what's in the GSX profile. And now using that map works really, it's so much, it's like some of the other pushback tools. It makes it very simple to set up a pushback route, and quickly. I miss taxiing large aircraft.
Continue about taxiway Sierra 9.
I know it's crazy. I like taxiing big aircraft. This would have been my preferred runway.
In 200 meters, turn right about taxiway Sierra.
But yeah, the last two updates have been pretty good.
Turn right about taxiway Sierra.
What? Really? Where am I going? I guess I'm going down here. So I guess I want to park in front of the Martinair Cargo sign. I don't want to park over there. Change facility. Select from map. Yeah, I want to park over here. So let's say this. Select. No. Yes. Too bad we don't have a Martinair. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna park it off in the weeds somewhere. What's the matter with you? the S70s, South 70s.
Turn right.
Oh, I wonder if I have to stop, progressive taxi.
Progressive taxi completed.
And request it
Roger.
again.
Taxi via Sierra.
There
In
we
300
go.
meters, destination straight ahead.
Well, that's close enough. I won't change it again. S72. Isn't this what I picked? Oh, 74 is what I picked. Okay. Yeah, S72 is the spot, though. Here's S74.
Destination on your right. You have arrived at your destination. Progressive taxi completed.
Taxi lights off. Well, that progressive taxi feature is kind of cool. But so is the new MD-11. New and improved MD-11. It's such a fun airplane to fly. I will be flying this quite a bit. See if the parking system lights up. I don't see a... There we go. We'll see how accurate the stop point is. I feel like... Yeah, you see how I'm really short? And see that sign? This should be moving over as I move up. And I want to park... I suspect... Oh, let's see. Never mind. We'll go with that. All right, we're here. I thought those lines would line up to according to my type. Okay, air on. Parking brake is set. Shut them down. Seatbelt signs off. Lights. Turn off the heat. Fuel switches are off. I think we're good. I think we're good. We did it. Should we let GSX unload the airplane? Does it know we're, yeah, it's not identifying the airplane quite correctly. Let's request deboarding. Let's see what happens. Oh, here come the cargo loaders. Yeah, see the stairs coming? That's not right. It thinks we've got a bunch of doors for stairs. Anyway, what a fantastic add-on. TFDi, you did a nice job with the updates. It looks great in 2024. It flies wonderfully. I think it feels really good. It feels very together, flight model-wise, if that makes sense. I can't wait to see the final version, the ready for everybody version.
because again, I think we're in a good spot.
It'll be even better in the upcoming weeks. So there we have it. TFDi MD-11 2024 Pratt & Whitney's along with the GEs. She's looking good, chat.
Through the boarding sign.
I look forward to what's going to happen over the next couple weeks. I think they're going to continue, and it's already one of my favorites, if you can't tell. But yeah, some small things they need to work on. Those audio stutters, I'll certainly report that back. There's some texture things going on. I saw. Again, nothing show-stopping, but enough happening here that they want to make sure it's in a slightly better place when they release it here in the next couple weeks. But in the meantime, hope this helps preview it, and I hope y'all enjoyed it. I love flying this plane. We'll do some more in the upcoming weeks, and especially once we know when the actual release is happening. So anyway, in the meantime, I am CJ. I'm your Classic Jet Sim pilot. This was a fun Classic Jet to fly. Till we see you again, keep the shiny side up, huh?